Welcome to Frontline Brief, Day 13. The United States just unleashed what the Pentagon is calling the most intense day of airstrikes since this war began. Targets across Iran were hammered overnight, including Tehran's Metabad airport. But here's the twist. For the first time, Iran is laying out conditions for peace. 3 demands: recognition of Tehran's rights, full war reparations, and guarantees it will never be attacked again. Meanwhile, 2 oil tankers were struck near Iraq's southern ports, forcing Baghdad to shut down all port operations. The U.S. military is investigating how a Tomahawk missile hit an Iranian girls' school, killing up to 175 students. And the UN Security Council just passed a resolution demanding Iran stop its retaliatory attacks on Gulf states. 5 updates. Let's go. The Pentagon confirmed that Tuesday night into Wednesday saw the most intense wave of U.S. airstrikes since the war began on February 28th. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called it the heaviest single day of operations. American forces struck targets across Iran, including Tehran's Metabad airport, military installations in Isfahan, and radar sites along the Persian Gulf coast. Israeli forces joined with a simultaneous wide-scale wave of strikes, targeting what they called regime infrastructure deep inside Iran. Explosions were reported across Tehran, Shiraz, and Tabriz throughout the night. Iran says more than 10,000 civilian sites have now been bombed since the start of the war. The death toll in Iran has passed 1,300 civilians, according to Tehran's figures. Over 750,000 people have been displaced in just 13 days. The scale of destruction is drawing comparisons to the opening weeks of the Iraq War. But unlike Iraq, Iran has been hitting back hard. Its ballistic missile and drone attacks on Israel, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia have not stopped. Every day the US escalates, Iran retaliates. And every retaliation triggers another escalation. For the first time since this war began, Iran has publicly stated what it would take to stop fighting. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian laid out 3 conditions. First, formal recognition of Iran's sovereign rights, including its nuclear program. Second, full war reparations for the destruction caused by US and Israeli strikes. And third, binding guarantees against any future military aggression. These demands are significant because they signal that Iran is at least thinking about an exit from this war. But they are also demands that Washington and Tel Aviv are almost certain to reject. The Trump administration has made clear that its goal is the complete dismantlement of Iran's nuclear capabilities. Paying reparations would be politically unthinkable in Washington, and guaranteeing Iran's security would effectively mean abandoning Israel's freedom to act militarily in the region. So, while Iran has opened a door, the gap between what Tehran wants and what Washington will accept remains enormous. Diplomats at the United Nations are scrambling to find middle ground, but so far, neither side has shown any willingness to compromise. The economic fallout from this war just got dramatically worse. 2 foreign oil tankers were struck by projectiles near Iraq's southern ports on Wednesday, forcing Baghdad to make the extraordinary decision to shut down all port operations. Iraq's oil exports, which account for roughly 4% of global supply, have effectively been halted. This comes on top of the Strait of Hormuz disruptions, where Iran's Revolutionary Guard continues to attack commercial shipping despite having its conventional navy destroyed. The International Energy Agency responded by announcing that member countries have unanimously agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil from strategic reserves. The United States alone is contributing 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But even this historic release has failed to calm markets. Brent crude briefly spiked above $100 a barrel this week before settling around $92. Analysts warn that if Iraq's ports remain closed for more than a few days, prices could surge past $120. For ordinary people around the world, that means more expensive fuel, more expensive food, and more expensive everything. This may be the most devastating single incident of the entire war. The U.S. military has confirmed it is investigating how a Tomahawk cruise missile struck an Iranian elementary school for girls on March 1st, killing as many as 175 people. Most of the victims were students. A U.S. official speaking to NPR on condition of anonymity said the strike was based on outdated intelligence. The school had apparently been misidentified as a military target. Iranian officials have seized on the incident as proof that America is waging war on civilians. The images from the scene have gone viral across the Middle East and beyond, fueling anti-American sentiment in countries that were previously neutral on the conflict. The Pentagon has ordered a full investigation, but the damage to America's moral authority in this war may already be irreversible. The incident draws uncomfortable parallels to past U.S. military errors in Iraq and Afghanistan. Critics say it underscores the danger of relying on precision weapons when intelligence is imprecise. For the families of 175 children, no investigation will bring back what they have lost. The diplomatic landscape of this war shifted dramatically on Wednesday. The UN Security Council passed a resolution demanding that Iran immediately halt all attacks on Gulf states, including Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Jordan. The resolution calls Iran's retaliatory strikes a serious threat to international peace and security. It is the strongest language the Security Council has used since the conflict began. But the resolution notably does not call for the US or Israel to stop their strikes on Iran, a fact that Tehran immediately condemned as hypocritical. Meanwhile, Spain became the latest European country to take action, withdrawing its ambassador to Israel in protest of the war. The Spanish government made the announcement after a special session of the Council of Ministers. Turkey's President Erdogan also issued a stark warning, saying the war must end before it deteriorates and sets the entire region on fire. The diplomatic isolation of Israel is growing in Europe, but the military coalition with the United States remains strong. The question is, how long that coalition holds if civilian casualties continue to mount. That is day 13. Iran is setting peace conditions, the US is escalating strikes, oil tankers are burning, and the world is watching a school bombing investigation that could change everything. If you want to stay informed, subscribe to Frontline Brief. We are here every